Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to my Worldless review on the PlayStation 5. So Worldless is a 2D platformer that features turn-based combat, which was developed by No Name Studios. Now regarding the turn-based combat, this isn't the same as a typical JRPG where you specify your move from a list of options, as well as having the luxury of no time limit. In Worldless, you do have a time limit to input and execute your abilities. But don't worry, there isn't a million button inputs you'll need to memorise as if you're playing Street Fighter, just some core abilities as well as stronger versions of them. There's a menu which can be quickly accessed in game which shows you your ability tree, so if you do forget some inputs, don't worry, as they can be easily accessed here. The combat in Worldless revolves around you absorbing your enemy. Once absorbed, you'll be rewarded with ability tokens which can be used to upgrade existing abilities as well as unlocking new ones. Now before you can absorb your enemy, you'll of course need to engage in combat, so let's go ahead and take a look and see exactly how that functions. You have access to physical and magical based attacks. Each enemy has an absorb threshold which needs to be met before they can be consumed. Also, enemies have resistances, strengths and immunities, so you'll need to pay attention to exactly what's happening on screen. You'll also need to be on the defensive side when it's your enemy's turn, as you'll need to block their physical or magical based moves respectively. Each time an enemy hits you whilst blocking, a layer will be taken away from your shield. If you don't have any layers remaining or block the wrong damage type, you will of course be taking some chip damage. If you time your block just before the enemy makes contact with you, this will be classed as a perfect guard which will not remove a layer from your shield, so think of a parry in Dark Souls. Taking a look at the level design, there is a main hub which features several door portals that will take you to each level. Now there's no set path, so you can take any path that you desire. Once you're in a new level, you can actually traverse to another level without the use of the door portals. These aren't shortcuts, but more of a way of connecting each level together without needing to backtrack to another portal. Now I have to say initially I found the maps confusing when I was trying to locate a portal. This is because the map is just a tree branch that tells you roughly where you are. When you notice dashes in the map layouts, this means that you can traverse to another level. Oh, and a heads up, this took me several hours to figure out. Your head on the map is where the door is. No pun intended there. So look, I think the game looks great. I like the minimalistic art design as a whole. Each level looks different with different themes so it doesn't get old. The tree branch UI for the abilities works well and has a clean look to it without any additional fluff, but it doesn't work for the map, which could benefit from far more detail. Devs, if you're watching this, I'd recommend going with a complete different map function in the future. The enemies look cool, and the bosses being unique as well as how they engage in combat, that's a plus. The music sounds amazing. Each level has its own sound, and I give full credit to the sound team on this one. You know what, in fact, I'm going to shut up for a second and I'm going to let you guys take a sneak peek, so just listen to this. So now, ladies and gents, it's that part of the video where we're going to go ahead and take a look at some gameplay elements. So, when you die, I really like that the game puts you back pretty much exactly where you perished. There's no punishment for failure. The game wants you to learn from your mistakes so that you can do better next time. This is a welcome addition, as you don't have to traverse half a map through trash mobs or consider where you went wrong in life at a bonfire. The respawn is also instantaneous, so there's no loading screens or immersion breaking going on here. If you kill an enemy instead of absorbing them, fear not, as a marker will be dropped on the map which will let you fight them again. This is very handy, as killing the enemy will allow you to progress further in the level, but if you can't figure out a strategy to absorb them at that time, don't worry about it, mate, just come back later. With most enemies, you can get away with timing a block incorrectly, or using the wrong block input, but you are not getting away with that with the boss fights. Look, I'm not going to spoil anything here, but the majority of my hours in this game were just refighting bosses over and over and over again. They're relentless, and they can be as annoying as a homeless person asking if you want to buy the big issue. Look, not only do I not want a copy of the big issue, I also don't want to fight this dork for the 50th time in a row. But yet, nothing against the homeless, everyone's got to get that cheddar, boys. But back on topic, if you do mess up a single input against a boss enemy, it can result in a wipe. Yes, it's annoying. The devs knew this and implemented a flee option, which will abandon the fight and put you next to the encounter stage again. So, to conclude, I found Worldless great and a worthwhile game. As someone that doesn't play 2D platformers, I wasn't sure what I was going to get with this one. The implementation of the turn-based combat is excellent, and whilst it can be frustrating dying repeatedly, it's all worth it when you finally land that kill. The music and level design go hand in hand, and there's a lot more features in this game I haven't mentioned as we don't want to spoil anything here. The game took me 15 hours to roll the credits, and while some of those hours were me raging, the game was a lot of fun. I'm going to recommend picking this one up if you're into platformers or turn-based combat games. What do you think of Worldless? Thanks for watching my review. My name's Senor Donut. Peace out.